everyone, it's your friend Think Noodles, and welcome to Ask Think episode number 166 for December 2015. You know what? This is the last Ask Think in 2015. Now, last month I asked you guys if you had to do one thing for an entire year, what would it be? And, well, a lot of people, maybe they didn't think it through. So we'll see. Anyway, Champs for the Win Gaming says, if I had to do one thing for an entire year, I would live, because you can't really do much without living. You know what I mean? And he took it literally, and I guess, okay, fine. Diamond Noodles says, if I could do one thing forever, it would be a brony. And you can hate me all you want. Haters gonna hate, but I'm not changing for the internet haters, which I love that you're standing by being a brony, although I think we were thinking more along the lines of what is a specific task that you had to do. Nico Peralta kind of went like the first one. I said, I would inhale oxygen for a year. Wait, I've been doing that my whole life. Okay. Now, MJ Insider Koopa says, I would watch Netflix for a year, or maybe 2 years. Don't you think you'd get tired of watching Netflix? I mean, it's something you had to do every single day. I mean, there would be a point where you're like, I don't feel like watching Netflix today, right? I mean, okay, maybe it's better than some other things. Girl Wise says, if I had to do one thing for the entire year, every day I would eat vanilla ice cream. But no matter how much I had in one day, I wouldn't gain any weight. Not how it works. You see, that's the whole thing, is like you're supposed to choose something that you, if you had to, you would do it, but then you have to think about it over the whole year. What would the drawbacks be? One, you, after the end of the year, you probably would never eat vanilla ice cream again because you'd be so tired of it, and you'd probably have to take off a few pounds. Rainbow Dog says, I would practice something that was my passion for a year, like writing. I would get better at it every day. It's always been my talent. Besides that, I would do what I normally do, sleep. So yeah, I mean, this one's actually decent because there would be days that you would get tired of it, because you're like, oh man, I spent 2 hours writing yesterday. I don't feel like writing today. You could force yourself to do it, and then you would get better at it every day. Although I think it might be a while before you wrote again. Piglet World says, I would drink egg. No, wait, nobody should know that. Egg what? Egg cream? Eggnog? I like eggnog. Okay, I would actually build wooden models of boats. That's pretty cool, but again, just thinking about it, you would. I don't think you would want to do that every single day. I actually can't. Well, okay, we'll get to mine. Lily Lyons says, eat burritos, because who doesn't love Mexican food? And I love Mexican food myself, but a burrito every day, I would probably never eat Mexican food again. Scarlett Owen says, if I could do only one thing for a whole year, it would be sleeping. I just love to sleep. It's gotten to the point where I can control what I dream. That's really cool. And I got to agree with you on this one. I'm sure there's a drawback. I'm just not seeing it to making sure like I sleep all day, every day. I mean, I guess you would miss like a lot of life. Boy, would you be rested at the end of that year. Orange Noodles says, if I had to do something every day of the year, I would definitely eat gelato, a different flavor every day. Chocolate, lemon, raspberry, vanilla, orange, cookies and cream, mint, and nougat. Actually, not nougat. That's really cool. So it's kind of like, with the eating vanilla ice cream from before, but you wouldn't get tired of the flavors because you're eating a different flavor every day. You just have to deal with the weight at the end of the year. Nakrissa Yill says, Narcissa or Nakrissa? I think Nakrissa. Answer to the question of the month. You had me stumped there. I bet people maybe watch You Think or play Minecraft. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but those were my first answers, but I changed it. My new answer, or answer 2.0, would be hang out with my friends. I always see them at school, but our schedules are mostly different. We don't get to see each other much. So a good chunk of the day to spend with my friends every day of the year would be great. That is a really, really good one. I like that one a lot. Can't find too many drawbacks, except for days you just don't feel like hanging out with your friends and you still had to, but they still might make you smile, make you happier. Donna Lab says, and these are the ones at the end that got a little weird. If I had to do something for an entire year, I would pee in the bathroom with a steak, and my dog and cat would be in there with me. That's not something I would really want to do even once, let alone every day for an entire year. Not sure where you're going with that one. Ben Boy says, if I was going to do something every day for a whole year, it would probably be eating cheese balls. Okay. It is said in cheese ball mythology that if you eat enough of them consecutively, you would become more hairy and eventually turn into half caveman, half carnivore. And eventually, your cheese balls would get bigger until they are human-sized cheese balls. And then I also think it would be cool if you could make a shrink ray. It's like a freeze ray, except it shrinks stuff, and it could also make things bigger. But that is sort of off the topic. I will save that for another Ask Think. Okie dokie. Nat Game said, I would physically force you to upload whenever I want so I can watch you 24/7. Did I say force? I meant politely ask you. Now that's not fair. Something you're going to do every day for the year is make me do something every day for the year. Not cool. So for me, I really racked my brain for this. And I think that's why there weren't a lot of answers to it. This is a really hard question because everything I thought of was like, oh, that's awesome. That's perfect. Oh, yeah, but I'd have to do it every single day. And like about a month in, I wouldn't want to do that anymore. So I've got to say on this question, you stumped me. So for next month's question, it comes to us from a fun and friendly name, and it is, what is your New Year's resolution? This is one we ask at the end of the year for every Ask Thing, and this is no exception. I want to see your New Year's resolutions, and also post, say, my New Year's resolution is to work out more, right? Because that's going to be mine probably. And then put in the same comment how long you expect to hold that New Year's resolution, because, most of the time we break them. And, sometimes it's a week, sometimes it's a month, sometimes it's a couple of months, sometimes it's, 2 days. So before we get to the questions, I want to remind you to leave your question in the comments below so I can have something to answer next week. Remember, only one question per comment, but you can leave as many comments as you like. Also, if the comments on this episode of Ask Think are closed, go to the most recent Ask Think and ask your question there. Now, on to the questions, and the first one is from Michelle Perez. It says, so then, out of curiosity, now that Ask Think is monthly, how do you choose the questions? Do you check every week? Do you check at the end of the month? What's your system? Actually, what I do is I check at the end of the month. You'll notice on all of the questions, like, for example, yours, it says 2 weeks ago. You'll see some that say 3 weeks ago, some that say a month ago. I check at the end of the month, and I just go, I go to the comment section. I sort as newest first, and I just click read more, all the way down to the bottom and look through all the questions. Wolf Hunter AJ says, have you seen Mockingjay Part 2? And if you have, what's your favorite part? Okay, my favorite part is right at the end when I'm just kidding. I mean, probably most of you guys have read Mockingjay, the book, so you know what happens, but I'm totally not going to spoil it for you. But yes, I have seen it. Monster High Fan 2014 says, have you ever broken any bones? Because I haven't. It wasn't fun. No, I haven't. I've never broken anything. I almost broke my toe once on a stair. It was really bad. I thought I broke it, really. So I can imagine that breaking things is probably not the most fun thing you can do. Purple Girl 9 Plays asks, does anyone ever flip out if you reply to their comment or post on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook? Yes, all the time. If I reply to their comment on Twitter, I don't really post comments on Instagram very often. Sometimes I will. Like I'll go on Instagram and click that little tab that says like posts about you or photos about you, and then I'll look at some of them and I'll go and click the like button or post a comment on those people's photo on Instagram. But yeah, they kind of do. Stephanie Loves Teen Wolf asks, when do you usually get your Christmas tree set up and stuff? My family does it right after Christmas. Do you actually mean after Christmas or after Thanksgiving? Because after Christmas is kind of weird. But anyway, if that's your tradition, that's your tradition. But actually, we usually get it around now. And yeah, we got it yesterday. And we put the lights and ornaments on last night. Gamer Girl Videos asks, how well do you and Think's wife know each other? Pretty well. In fact, last night we were putting up the ornaments. I found our first Christmas together ornament. We got an ornament like made at the mall. And it's dated and it says, Justin and Rochelle, first Christmas ever. And then, the date is on it and it's 2001. X Owl Lover X asks, hey, Think, so you would celebrate every 100,000, but now that you have 1 million, how often will you celebrate? Well, yeah, I do have 1 million. It's crazy. Thank you guys so much again. Still haven't gotten over all of that. I don't really know. Maybe, I don't know. What? Oh, that's a really hard one. We'll wait a little while, see how things go. Because if we wait for 2 million, I could be waiting 5 years or something, or 4 more years. That might be a long time to wait to celebrate. Panda Girl asks, Think, what did you want to grow up to be when you were a kid? I want to be a marine biologist. Well, I think I wanted, obviously when I was really young, I wanted, fireman, policeman, astronaut, those sort of things. And then the one career that I really once I got a little bit older, it was still early teens, 13, 14. I remember that a friend of mine and I were really, really wanted to be naval aviators. I don't know, Top Gun or something. But we were really serious about it. I mean, as serious as you can be when you're 13 or 14 about, joining the Navy. And, then time went on, and then I realized, I have great vision, I have 20/20 vision. But one of my eyes is really better than 20/20, and one of my eyes is worse. So, I found that, or I read that you have to have perfect vision in both eyes to be a fighter pilot for the Navy. So I was like, ugh, all right, well, that's not going to work. So then I kind of, I also like computers. So, this whole thing happened. But my friend who wanted to be a naval aviator, I think he had, not really sure why he didn't become a fighter pilot, but he did become a Navy SEAL. So he actually followed through with that. Alpha Wolf asks, what was your favorite part about making the parody video? Well, so here's the thing about parody videos. Once I selected the song and wrote the lyrics, I was pretty uninvolved in the whole process. Well, actually, I take that back. Once, so I selected the song, I wrote the lyrics, and then I gave the basic plot that I wanted. From then on, I was almost entirely uninvolved. Other than saying, how are things going? So I guess my favorite part about making the new parody was, I think it was writing the lyrics. I do have a lot of fun with it. I have a very hard time with it, especially right now. But yeah, I guess that was my favorite part. Champs for the Win Gaming asks, how often do you see your friends from your past schools? Very, very rarely. I can only think of one. I think. Yeah, I can only think of one that I've seen in the last 5 years. And prior to that, it was probably 5 years. I mean, once every 5 years. And really, when I do, it's only one of them. Juno Cowens asked, Dear Think, I wanted to ask what your favorite song is. Well, that changes, not daily, but often. Right now, it's Some Nights by Fun. And I know it's not a new song or anything, but I've been listening to it a lot lately. A lot. And trying to write lyrics for it. And right now, it's always in my head, and I really, really love it right now. Yulon asks, hey, Justin, did you ever think that playing video games for a living would be so hard and frustrating? No. Well, I mean, first of all, playing video games for a living was always a dream, and it's a dream of probably most kids. And I didn't think it was a real thing, but apparently it is. But like anything that you do for a living, even something as cool and as fun as playing video games, there are a lot of challenges and frustration when your computer doesn't do what you want it to do, or it crashes, or you're on a deadline. And it's funny to say a deadline because these are deadlines I set for myself, But yeah, it can be hard and frustrating. And no, I never would have thought that. Wolf Hunter AJ asked, did it snow where you are yet? It did for me. Nope. It's only been cold enough to snow probably 2 days this year. And it has not at all. Matilda Nito asks, think I love animals so much, and I always want to pet dogs and cats, but I'm always shy to ask the owners. So does it bother pet owners when kids ask to pet their pet? No, not at all. I love it when you guys ask, and Kopi loves to be pet, so don't be afraid. Ping Pong Ya asks, is Kopi scared of thunder? No, she's not scared of very much at all. I think it's part of her being a city dog. Noises and crowds and things like that don't scare her at all. The Diamond Overlord 1 asks, I think I love your videos and especially love how family friendly you are. Here's my question. What city do you live in? It confuses me when people say they live in New York. So is it New York, or somewhere else? You know, when I always remember there was like a specific time that we were in Disney World and we were at the House of House of Innovations. No, you know, the House of the Future in Innovations in Disney World and in Epcot. And the guy asked, hey, where are you guys from? And then the people next to us like, New York. And then they were like, where? And we're like, oh, we're from New York too. Where do you guys live? And they're like, we live in Albany. And we're like, oh, that's a little bit, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense because you're in Florida and then they ask where you're from. You say your state. Oh, geez. Whoops. You say your state. I'm swinging my arms around and I hit a bowl. So anyway, but when we hear New York, we automatically assume when people say New York, because when we ask people where they live, we live in New York, and then they say, I live in Albany, I live in Long Island, or whatever, Brooklyn. But yes. So anyway, it is confusing. And yes, when I say New York, I live in Manhattan, in New York, New York. It's exactly where you're thinking of. Allison Harvey asks, since you live in New York City, have you ever been to the Thanksgiving Day Parade? Yes, I have. It was a few years ago, and we probably should have gone this year because it was so warm. But we had so much to do on Thanksgiving. Caitlin Griffinhart asks, think were your parents overprotective? No, not at all. They let me go out and get in lots of trouble when I was a little kid. I mean, not lots of trouble. Nothing like the police came for or anything. But, I was always outside with my friends and my parents were nowhere to be seen. Jeremiah Green asks, what do you think about people owning pet reptiles? Do you consider them freaks or do you consider them normal people with a passion for reptiles? Well, I would have to consider them normal people. No, take that back. They are awesome people with a passion for reptiles because I used to have a Chinese water dragon before we had Kopi. Kurt Wong asked, what happened to Sims 4? I don't see you posting it. No more. Noodle on. Well, honestly, I just got a little bored of playing it. And I don't know what happened. I was just playing it and I had install issues with it. And then I played it a little bit more and I just didn't have the passion for it anymore. And I felt like if I was starting to get bored of the game, that you guys probably wouldn't enjoy watching me play it if I wasn't enjoying myself play it. So I hope you guys understand. That doesn't mean that I won't play it ever again. It's just maybe a new content update with pets or something like that. But that only lasts so long on The Sims. Princess7301 asks, how do you put your voice on a video but have something else go in the background? That's always done in editing. You can adjust separate audio tracks in most video editors. Silver Dennis asks, why don't you live stream much anymore? You used to live stream occasionally, made it interesting with Think Stories, so why did you stop? If you say you're bad at it, that's why you would live stream to get better. You have lots of projects or tedious things that would not go in a video, so why not live stream it? Well, the thing is, live streaming takes a lot of setup and a lot of time. And also you kind of have to make it flow. So if let's say I was setting up a Think Lab, which I wouldn't do because that would spoil the episode, but let's just say I did that. Because it's a lot of tedious stuff that I set up. I'm always switching. Minecraft will crash. I'll be switching between versions. I forgot to put this mod in. Things like that would be really horrible for a live stream. So I couldn't really do that with the tedious things. And then the other reason is that I just don't have time. I did a little while ago with the YouTube gaming thing starting up. I thought it was going to be big deal, but it sort of flopped. That said, I will be live streaming next week on Thursday for the Yogs Cast. They asked me to be a part of their holiday charity live stream, so I'm going to be doing that next Thursday. And the other thing is, when I'm doing a lot of my work, I do it in the mornings when you guys are at school, so it wouldn't work well at all, but that'll be in the evening. Furious Fighter 2 asks, what's your homepage for Chrome? A blank page. I know you wanted something really interesting, but it's just a blank page. Ryan Polymer asks, why aren't you on Tube Heroes? Dan is on it. Why not you? So I'm in negotiations with them for the Tube Hero character, but it's gotten held up by attorneys, and it's really annoying because, believe me, I want to see my action figure in stores as much as you all do. And it's just contract disputes are annoying, but believe me, it will happen. I promise. Closid asks, let's say you need a recording program. Everyone knows the free ones are really bad. Do you research the program you find, or do you buy it? And if you don't like it, you just wasted money. Obviously, if you're going to spend money, research it. However, the free ones are all not really bad. I know that OBS is free, and it is pretty highly regarded as a great recording software. Madison Crispy asks, would you ever consider collaborating with YouTubers beside Dan and James? I love them, but what happened with Jordan and Basher? Well, for Pixelmon, Jordan and Basher just lost interest, and they just stopped recording. Nothing we could do about that. And that's one of the reasons that I don't consider collaborating with other YouTubers, because I find that I can't trust everyone. They lose interest, or they change their channel direction, or I can't trust them to be as family friendly as I am. Dan and James are exceptions, and that's why I trust them to collaborate with. But it's really, really hard to find people that I can trust. Diamond Noodles asks, why do you show Minecraft during Ask Think instead of your face? Plus, then you can do stuff like eating sour candy and show us your reactions. Well, I mean, one, and I've always said this, is that I like my viewers to imagine what I look like. You guys have an imagination of what I look like, and I only want people to know if they choose to know. If I were to put my face on Ask Think or Facecam during any of my videos, those who didn't want to know what I look like, or who had this imagination like reading a book or something, it would almost force them to abandon that imagination. The second reason is I'm not confident in my appearance. I'm just not. I never have been. And I know it's weird for someone who, I have 1 million subscribers, and I'm still self-conscious. It's it's something I'm probably going to feel for the rest of my life. And it's just it makes me uncomfortable. Ben Walter asks, is the voice you use on your videos your real voice, or is it a fake? Because on the face revealed stream, it didn't seem real. And that is exactly why I say you guys have an imagination of what I look like, or maybe you just always imagine my avatar in Minecraft, or my character or whatever. You imagine that as me. And then when you see me with that voice, you're like, but that voice doesn't match the person, because you're imagining another person. It is my real voice, obviously, but it might not seem that way. And I always liken it to when I watch Matt Parker or Trey Parker and Matt Stone. If they're on a talk show or something and they're talking, and then one of them will drop into one of the South Park voices that they make, or what's his name? The creator of Beavis and Butthead. I can't think of his name right now, but when he drops into, doing Beavis or Butthead, you're just like, wait, what? That's so weird. Like, the voice is perfect, but it's that guy. And, that is exactly, I know that feeling. I know that feeling, but it is my real voice. Rinwa asks, any specific reason you took the schedule out of your about page? The reason is I feel like I have become, like, I don't want to say boring, but like stale a little bit. I mean, I have this schedule, and I look back when I hit 1 million subscribers, and I was like, wait a minute. Like, I've had the same exact schedule for 6 months. And every day it's the same videos. And I think that has disengaged a lot of subscribers. Like, oh, great. Another this. Oh, it's Tuesday. Another that. And I kind of want to become more unpredictable. I mean, not that unpredictable, like I'm not going to post a video for 3 days. That's not it at all. I just want maybe a little more flexibility to play. Like, it'll be Tuesday and I'll be like, oh man, I really want to play this game, but I have to play this. I'd rather play something that I feel like playing rather than something that I have to play because I'm sticking to a schedule. I'm not changing the schedule yet or anything. It's just I kind of want to give myself the possibility of doing that. I don't know. What do you guys think? Jerry asks, what do you think of the new Clash of Clans update? I heard there are going to be changes. Will you not get shields for putting your town hall on the outside? Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, they're going to have a new hero in Town Hall 11. That's cool, although I'm way far away from that. But I'm not sure about this whole getting rid of farming update. And I understand what they're trying to do. I think Supercell sees people who farm as threats to their income stream. People like myself who've never bought a single gem. But I've been playing the game for over a year and progressing through it pretty well without spending any money. That's not a good. I'm not a good customer. So I think that they want people to be more encouraged to spend gems on shields because they can't get them by just sticking their town hall on the outside. Someone comes in with an archer queen, hits their town hall. It costs nobody anything. It doesn't even cost them a recharge time or any troops or anything. And, everybody wins except for Supercell. So we'll see how it goes. The Starboy Warriors asks, how do you get the word YouTube in your Minecraft username when you do minigames? So there are two ways. One, if I'm playing on a server, sometimes you just log in and you already have it because server owners, I don't know, maybe they maintain a list or something of Minecraft YouTubers that they know the usernames of, and they automatically give that rank to the person when they log in. If not, you can also go to one of the moderators or one of the administrators and ask them for YouTuber ranks so that you can get into games and things like that. Usually, though, there are minimum requirements for that, and it's either by views per video or number of subscribers or whatever. You can't just say, I have a YouTube channel and I want to do YouTube. Can I get a YouTuber rank? Usually, you have to be fairly well known. Cute Animal Lover 123 says, I noticed around the time you stopped the mod pack survival like Hexit and Crazy Craft, will you do any more? I want to. I really want to do another Hexit series on a newer version of Minecraft. And I saw that they were developing Hexit 2 on, I think it was on 1.7. But it seems like they abandoned it. And Crazy Craft, I mean, I just did, well, not that recently, but that was the most recent one that I did. I don't want to go from Crazy Craft 2.2 to 3.0 because it'll be just so much more of the same. But I feel like Hexit being on 1.5 and then going to 1.7, the mods will be quite improved, I think. And also, I haven't done it in so long. Captain Carrot Man asks, can you put more mods into Minecraft Survival? Well, there aren't any. Especially right now. I mean, usually I run Optifine, but in 1.9 there is no Optifine yet. So there are none in Minecraft Survival. That's the whole thing on the series, is that it's a vanilla series. Eric Stagner asks, are there any mods you wanted to use in Things Lab but could not due to conflict with other ones you use? Well, the one for Kevin and Dave usually doesn't have any conflicts at all with anything because all it really does is add mobs to Minecraft. So, and maybe a few amount of items, but it doesn't really add any blocks or anything like that. So it doesn't really conflict with other mods very often. I maybe once, but I find a lot of times that mods conflict with each other. The more Optifine conflicts with a lot of mods actually. So what I end up doing is disabling some of the mods. The Mobans mods conflicts with a lot of mods just because of the way that it renders the player, and then the mod, like a hats mod or something, or Where MC or something, doesn't render the same. So when the character is moving, the hat looks funny, things like that. Samuel Morales asks, Think, is it okay if I buy like 70 episodes of your Noodle Planet Survival Let's Play and watch the most recent videos? Of course. You can pick it up anywhere and you'll just see some new stuff. But yeah, that's one of the things that I worry about is that, it's episode like 260 something. And I feel like new subscribers will come in and go, wow, I'm not going to watch 261 episodes to catch up. And they may not watch the series at all. It does worry me sometimes. Lifeless Koopa asks, think about how long is the Pixelmon replacement series going to take? I look every Tuesday, but I never see it. Well, we've been talking about it. We were really like big on it. And we were moving along, and then not to blame him, but Dan broke his hand, and then all three of us kind of like not forgot about it, but like we just stopped. I guess working on it. And we need to pick that back up so that we can get that out to you guys. And we were talking about it the other day, and I think we're going to start it next month. Aiden McLennan asks, what camera mod do you use? I use two. They're both for 1710. I use Freeze Cam and Cam Studio. David Veta asks, what is that campfire in your survival series? I've been subscribed for a really long time, but I never have known what it was. Is it modded? Nope. It's all vanilla. Those are just armor stands that are placed at different angles to each other. And then there's a little bit of like, there's basically a fire down there. Really, that's what there is. There's lava. And when you press the button, it lets the lava touch the armor stands, which sets them on fire and makes a campfire. I'm trying to remember the episode. But there was an episode that I showed you how to build it. The Red Panda Hero asks, what do you think of 1.9? Is it good or bad? And are you excited for 2.0? Well, I think it's great. They've added a lot of gameplay, as you guys have seen in the Noodle Planet series. I think it's a great update. It's taken a little bit longer than I would have liked in between updates. As far as 2.0, the thing is that the way versioning works is that it's going to go 1.9 and then 1.10. It doesn't just because, that's just the way versioning works. It's not necessarily like normal numbers where you got 1.1, 1.2, and then it goes 2.0, 2.1, 2.2. That's not the way versioning works in computer games. It'll go 1.10, 1.11, 1.12, 1.13 like that. I don't think there will ever be a 2.0, but I guess I am excited for 1.10. All right, guys, that's it for this episode of Ask Think. Don't forget to leave your questions in the comments below so I have something to answer in the next episode. Also, don't forget to pick up those chopsticks and poke that like button as hard as you can. I'll see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching. And of course, Noodle Line!